Continuing here. Yeah, so what we've got here is one big fat ship of fools careening to destruction, and I don't want to be on board. So I've already jumped off, and I'm trying to convince everybody else to jump off the ship of fools. Come out of Babylon, come out of ignorance, come out of stupidity, come out of confusion, be empowered, carry your fair share weight of this cross, okay? Because in the long run, you're going to be carrying the least weight, because when these people that are evil get sent to this horrible place. I mean, this Dante's Inferno like place, okay, and there's no coming back. They got nobody to bully or push around down there. Hey, you don't want to be there. You don't want anybody else's blood on your hands or on your head, and that's why I do what I do. Okay, and the trick is to just be, start in your heart and your mind. Remember, these two, they kind of go together. Think, with your heart and your mind, and pray prayerfully, ask for God's opinion on everything. But I know this much, that you've got to be in favor of universal, absolute freedom for all of humanity. Okay, that is the only answer to ever realizing, actualizing paradise, heaven on earth, this perfect world. And this is what we've got to shoot for. Okay, that's it. There can't be, you reach a plateau where I'm comfortable with. No, it never works that way, because remember, our parents are watching. Who are our parents? None less than the Creator God Almighty. That's our owner, right? That's why I talk about standing before our owner someday. So be accountable and welcome that. If you're wrong, and you then be convicted, accept it, to come out of delusion, come out of being deceived, okay, being duped and taken. And don't go along. Don't be one of these people, okay? Because they are headed to a bad place, and they want to drag as many souls down that they can that aren't nearly as wretched as them, okay? That had a chance. I mean, this is the jump off point, man. We're at the precipice, okay? And people have to say, "Hey, I'm done with you monsters, man. You know what? I know I can't even conceive of how evil you are." When I watch these crime shows, and I just hear the things that people are willing to do. Who are these people? I mean, they could be living anywhere. They could be all around. It could be your neighbors that would do these horrible things. I think, God Almighty, I mean, you could not pay me enough to do the things that these people do. I want nothing to do with these people. And yet, here we are. We're stuck together. Again, Owen Benjamin, I mean, how can you deny that fact, that we're in this thing together, and there's no easy out. There's no opt out. None of us get a waiver. Okay, we're stuck in this thing together. The muck and mire of madness that's being promulgated, being pushed by these people, these grand puppeteers and all their sycophantic politicos, the money printing classes in there. These people are all colluding together against the welfare of the people at large. Do you understand? That's it. They don't want universal, absolute freedom for humanity. They want the opposite. They want us in chains, enslaved forever. I mean, anybody that thinks they're born free is delusional. You're not born free. Were you born without a cost of living? Okay, that's the only way you could be born free. Okay, if you didn't have a cost of living tax. And remember, it wasn't God, it wasn't your owner, it wasn't the Creator God Almighty, our divine parents, that inflicted this upon us. Okay, they're not the ones extracting this tax from us. Okay, it is evil people that are doing this, that have all made us believe, like sheep to the slaughter, that this is just the way it is, and it's just the way it's always going to be, and to believe any other way is anti-common sense and anti-pragmatic, and the sooner you get used to it and go with the flow and the program and comply and capitulate and acquiesce and get conditioned to this system, this establishment, this status quo of death and destruction, and it's just going to get more burdensome and harder and harder and harder to crack the nut and to reach the bar, and then hey, you're stupid. Okay, if you don't like it, then you can kick and scream, but I mean, we're still going to impose it on you. We're still going to keep this trajectory of death and destruction, and we don't let anything get in the way. We'll kill heads of the state, the most powerful nation in the world, if we have to. Whatever we need to do to get away with it, we'll do it, because we love money the most. That's our master, and we'd starve to death without it. So don't try to keep us from our money and that power it has over the masses. Okay, so folks, we're in a lot of trouble. Listen, I want to get on to some current events now, and but remember, the good news is that we're boiled, we're cooked, we're done. We're at that precipice. I firmly believe. That's my opinion. We're at the end of the age. The beginning of a new age is dawning. And, I tell you what, I'm out of Babylon, man. I see this thing crystal clear. I mean, if I'm a savant idiot or genius, whatever, however you want to look at it, then listen, it's in seeing this thing crystal clear. I see how we've been duped. I see all the nuts and bolts of the machinations of how they've done this to us. And it just, I'm done with it, man. I'm done having faith in the establishment. I just don't think there's a political fix. It just, look at the trajectory. It's seamless. It just keeps going. Death and destruction. This is what we want. We're going to make it harder and harder and harder for people. We're going to keep debasing their currency, keep raising their cost of living tax, telling them it's a good thing, getting them to vote against their own self-interest. Okay, I mean, this is it. Telling them you're incompassionate, you're bad, you're stupid. It's your fault if the next bridge falls and people die because you didn't vote for the gas tax. Even though California already has the highest tax they get in the world on the gasoline. I don't know what the rest of the country's paying, but we're paying like $3.50 a gallon here. And that's down, I think, recently because of the oil being down a little bit. You see slight fluctuations. But, I mean, even that price we're paying for gas is nothing compared to what we're paying for rent. I mean, there's a driver. The central driver of all the problems comes from the cost for housing. And who has done this? This bankster class, dumping all this money on the market. Slick Willie getting rid of the Glass-Steagall Act, a regulation that kept these banksters on some kind of a leash, even though it was an extending leash. We saw with the home savings and loan scandal, there was times when the dog got off the leash a little bit, but the regulators like Bill Black was able to get them back into place and put some of them in jail. Do we see that? No. Oh, no, they're too big to jail. And the system, oh, no, it's too big to fail. We can't have a real market correction. We can have real capitalism. Come on, who are you kidding? Do you understand the implication? Yes, I do. And that's exactly what we needed. We needed a reset of our economic reality at that point. Did we get it? No. So this is what I mean. I'm just telling you, we're at the end of the rope here, okay? And that's we, Americans, that's we, humanity, okay? Whoever thinks of themselves as an American around the world wants those same ideals in their country, then you've got to take the bull by the horns and you've got to demand justice. Speak your mind to anybody that'll listen, but just have it clear and concise in your own mind. Be cogent and do a better job than me, because I know I digress. I'm all over the place. I know that. But, just put the nuts and bolts to them so that they can't deny it unless, you want to be intellectually dishonest. Because I know you're not stupid. So whoever you're talking to, be polite, respectful, very diplomatic, but use divine tact so that it's palatable, so that you can be effective at winning them out. Because that's the goal. That's the object, is to get people to believe the truth, okay, and not the lies. And it's not hard to do when you make it as clear as a light of day, where even a child can understand and can't deny the truth, what you're putting forth to them. You say, this is how they've done it. This is the plan. This is how they steal the wealth of the people of the nation. Because the greatest wealth of any nation, the greatest asset, the greatest resource of any nation, as the world's greatest economist points out, Adam Smith in his book, The Wealth of Nations, is the workers. So it's a willing workforce. Okay, that's who gets the job done. Okay, nothing gets done apart from that resource. So why do we pretend that that's not the way it is? But we do. We cheat people out of fair pay. We say, well, we can't let everybody get a fair shake. We can't we got to cheat somebody somehow. See, there's so many people that are going along with this evilness, this vileness, this ungodliness in our establishment that they, under the guise of capitalism, and it just sickens me to my stomach, and I just want to expose it so bad. So if you can get that same passion that I have and expose it and say, no, don't give me this capitalism crap. That pretext has turned so many people into socialism. It's your fault that you're breeding all these devout socialists and communists out there. It's your fault, you crony capitalist fault. Don't tell me. I know the difference between true capitalism and pseudo-capitalism. You call them on their stuff. But, do it nicely and politely, to be effective. But make it so they can't deny the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Because that's what it is. Okay, a child can understand it. It's 2 + 2. It's logic, it's reason, it's math. So crazy week. I got a lot of stuff written down here, a lot of notes and talking points of recent current events and whatnot. So we got this idiot, this guy, this bomber guy that sent all these packages. This guy is obviously compromised, being used as a patsy. The mainstream media won't point that out. How obvious it looks at that van, the way that looked. Come on, that ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. Okay, I mean I've seen some nuts out there, but their vehicles don't look like that. That looked like it was freshly minted. Okay, with all those signs. That guy was working at a strip club. He was a stripper himself. He was working at a place where Stormy Daniels had worked. Okay, that guy was a nut. Okay, an absolute nut. So associate that guy with Trump is totally unfair. I mean, any deranged person. I mean, do the Democrats associate with Bill Ayers of the Weather Underground and the bombers of the leftist bombers back in the day? Okay, I mean, is that who you are? So you want, is that, no. I mean, you disassociate, you say, no, that guy is a freaking nut, a mental case, or he's a wholly compromised patsy. Okay, but the idea that look, these packages were obviously made to be suspicious, okay, and checked out. The first one that's put through, and they all look the same. So once they found one, they could easily find all of them, easily identifiable, easily, and not meant to ever go off. I mean, that's the facts from the experts I've listened to that I believe and trust. These things weren't meant to go off. So the guy's absolutely a nutcase, and to associate this guy with Trump is unfair. And there's some shenanigans going on. Okay, a lot of these people, they've got this Munchausen syndrome or something where, they like all this attention and look, oh, I'm a victim that, they like to play the sympathy card. And so they're willing to commit a self-inflicted wound, especially if they think their odds are good that it's not going to hurt them really at all. It's just going to help them and deflect away from their evilness. Okay, because a lot of these people I don't like. Okay, but I'm sure as hell not going to wish any harm for them. I have goodwill. I wish they would come out of evil and come out of darkness into the light. Jump ship from the evil. A lot of these politicos, I don't like them, but I sure as heck, don't support some idiot sending bombs. I'm not a violent guy. I don't believe in offensive violence and sneaky violence and as premeditated and with malice aforethought. I don't believe in any of that crap. And even that guy, none of those bombs even could have ever exploded. I mean, you could crush them with a compactor and they're still not going to explode. So what a bunch of BS. That's all. I just wanted to mention that about that bombing idiot. I thought that I was talking about the states and their physical size. For some reason, I got it in my head that Florida was a large state. I guess it just looks like it the way it's laid out, but it's way down on the list of largest states. It's not even half the size of California because you can find the square miles of all the states. But there's a lot of states I haven't been to, but there's some that are quite large. Of course, Alaska being the largest and Texas next large. I did get California right, being the third, but I just like to correct myself when I say something in error and correct the error. Mike Adams, the health ranger, was on Alex Jones, and I totally agree. Like I was talking about earlier, that we got to help these people in their own native countries because that's a big deal. Leaving your homeland. Do Americans want to want things to get so miserable here that we're all forced to do that? What gangs and thugs and rogue military men come and kicking you out of your house? Thank God we got the Third Amendment, right? But I wholeheartedly agree that we've got to attack this at the source. We got to have some words with the governing bodies down in these countries. Say, what the hell? Take care of you damn people. Slap them around a little, metaphorically speaking. Humiliate the crap out of them. Whatever it takes. Intimidate them. Say, you see these ships offshore here in Venezuela? You see these ships offshore here in Honduras? You see? You want trouble with us? you got a problem. So, you got a bunch of thugs and gangs and rogue military men down there pushing people around. Yeah, we want to have a little talk, okay? Go in there nicely and say, yeah, we'll help you for a while, but you got to get your own act together. You got to build factories and jobs for your people, or just give them money so they can buy crap. You got to fund it with your natural resources. Every nation's the wealthiest. They're thrown away by allowing these people to leave their countries. Remember, they're losing their greatest asset, their greatest resource, a willing workforce. They're idiots that are running these countries and allowing these people to leave. They're losing the cream of the crop. Idiots, utter idiots. So, yeah, we should have words with these people, diplomatic